Listen up, Chicago Bears fans. If you didn't feel something after that win against the Browns, I need you guys to check your pulse. The Bears didn't just win, they dominated. And while it was an inferior opponent, we needed to see this type of game from the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams made magic happen. The defense was locked in. They completely shut out the Cleveland Browns as well. And the Bears just hit 10 wins for the first time since Matt Nagy, which is crazy enough. We're going to talk about it all and more, the standouts, the one loser in yesterday's game as well, and we got comments from DJ Moore and Caleb Williams, and we're diving a little bit into the mailbag. All that and more right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Air Hayes, and more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content today, y'all. And the Chicago Bears are back on top of the NFC North and second in the NFC overall, if I'm not mistaken, after the way that everything shook down on Friday. And this is earned. This is deserved. The Bears have now secured a double-digit win season, the first since we've been covering this team here at Chicago Bears Central, 4 years since we've been having it. The Lions and the Packers lost yesterday. Micah Parsons also suffered what is expected to be an ACL injury, which could leave him out the remainder of the season. That is major. And again, I don't want anybody wishing bad. We're not going to celebrate Micah Parsons getting hurt. That's not what we're here to do. Don't want to do anything like that. But when you look at the Chicago Bears and how their path to winning the NFC North, it, of course, affects that and makes it easier, especially considering we face off against them on Saturday. So all those things being considered, this is a Bears team that now, once again, as we said before, they have control over their own destiny, and that's what you want here, right? The Bears have 3 games left on the schedule, all against teams that are fighting for postseason appearances. We got the Packers, we got the Niners, and then we got the Detroit Lions to end the season on, and hopefully that's not the last game of the 2025 season for the Chicago Bears, and we're going to get ready for some postseason play. So the Bears, they got 1 victory. I said before that they needed 3, right? That's just my personal opinion. I know some feel like you only need 2. I feel like you needed 3, right? I think that the Bears are going to need, to get 2 more victories here on the season at least. They're going to need to get at least 13 wins to lock themselves. At least 12 wins to lock themselves in to being able to get to the postseason for sure. They could probably make it with 11, but to solidify everything, you get 2 more wins. The Bears are right there. They're locked into the postseason. And like I said, they control their own destiny now, with some things possibly getting a little bit easier for them, but you can't take nothing for granted. The Bears got a short week. Let's see how Ben Johnson gets them ready for this short week, but talk a little bit of that more. I want to get to this game. I want to talk about the standouts, positively, the winners, and then one loser, one negative standout for the Bears. The first one is Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has been criticized his entire football career, and that's not going to stop. He's a starting quarterback in the NFL, and for the Chicago Bears, that's going to come with what it comes with. That's just the result of it. It is what it is there, right? They got a blowout win, and when you look at it, especially in the first half of the game, Caleb Williams averaged almost 16 yards per completion in the entirety of the first half. That was major to see from him. You look at the 22-yard passing touchdown to DJ Moore. That was crazy. Some of the throws that Caleb Williams made was absolutely amazing. He went 17-28 for 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a 112.5 passer rating. Caleb Williams was definitely one of the positive standouts and winners in yesterday's game. And if we're talking about Caleb Williams, we got to talk about DJ Moore. After Rome Odunze re-aggravated injury during warmups and he had to sit down, we needed the wide receiver core to step up. And we'll talk about more. We'll talk about Luther Burton here in a second, but DJ Moore had a great game. 4 catches, 69 yards on 5 targets, 2 touchdowns. And that one catch throw by Caleb Williams was absolutely insane. And was much has been talked about moving on from DJ Moore and his chemistry with Caleb Williams being XYZ. So many Bears fans. I got to tell y'all, if y'all really think Caleb is holding a grudge because before DJ Moore knew who Caleb Williams was as a player, he said nobody was better in supporting his quarterback, y'all got to stop making sports soap operas. But for what it's worth, they did a little bit to quiet that yesterday. I really do think it's a frequency thing, not a personal thing when it comes down to it. Caleb is going to go to his favorite targets. That's Colston, Loveland. That's Rome Odunze with Luther Burton coming in on that. But today, last night we saw it with DJ Moore having a big game. and you got to love to see that. DJ Moore absolutely was a standout, as was Luther Burden. Luther Burden is just a rookie that shows so much poise. And while the drafting of Luther Burden, got more praise than anything else for where the Bears drafted him at, it didn't start off necessarily the best for him with injuries and things like that. He stepped up hugely with Rome Odunze out after re-aggravating that foot. He had 6 receptions for 84 yards on 7 targets. Now you just look at some of the yards after the catch that he had as well. Like, Luther Burden continues to show that he's going to be a big part of this Bears future. It's good to see that. When you look at just the last 2 weeks, Burden's had 10 receptions for 151 yards, and it's great. Now, Luther Burden did have an ankle injury in the second half, which he did not return from, and we'll see if he's ready to go against the Packers coming on Saturday because we're going to need him out there on the field. But Luther Burden, at least in that game, big standout for the Chicago Bears. And the other name that I just mentioned, Colston Loveland. Loveland is going to be a star, and I feel very confident in that. What he did playmaking-wise, route running-wise, he has great hands as well. 4 catches for 63 yards on 5 targets. He made some very impressive catches over the time to keep drives going in. This is a guy that did an amazing job. And also, don't overlook Colston Loveland and what he did in the blocking game. Go and look at some of the times where he had to block Myles Garrett. He actually did pretty damn well on it. Colston Loveland flashed every bit of the reasons why the Chicago Bears drafted him where they drafted him at, even though it was kind of unexpected. And he's having a great year. Shout out to Colston Loveland on that. He had a great year when it all came down to it. And since we're staying on the offensive side of the ball, DeAndre Swift. Listen, the 2 running back attack by the Chicago Bears is great. And it's definitely something that can be the backbone of your offense. It's playoff-style football. It's all those things. 142 yards on the day from both running backs, 18 carries for 98 yards from DeAndre Swift alone. He averaged 5.4 yards per carry on 2 touchdowns. In that 17-yard run that he had that put up the Chicago Bears 28-3, Swift is just like, it's night and day differently for DeAndre Swift. And it goes to show the importance. Shout out to Crimson. I always love to give shout out to you guys when I remember who says what. Crimson said it. Like an offensive line is kind of more important than having a solid run game than some running backs at times. Now, I think we got 2 talented running backs in there as well, but this offensive line, now that we've found that groove for this offensive line, it has made the game so much easier for our running backs, and I think we just can't continue to overlook that. So DeAndre Swift absolutely had a big game as well for the Chicago Bears. But let's switch it to the defensive side of the ball. Austin Booker. I came in the pregame show, and I said, Austin Booker has been relatively quiet since his return. Now, we know that he was, ramping back up. He missed so much time that it takes a while. I think yesterday was his 5th game back, if I'm not mistaken, right? And while the Bears pass rush showed up big time against the Cleveland Browns, 15 QB hits, 5 sacks. We also got 3 interceptions. The Bears defense did a lot, and the pressure that we were able to get on rookie Shedeur Sanders was a big part of it. And Austin Booker led the way there. 2 sacks, 4 QB hits, and 4 tackles from Austin Booker in yesterday's game. Hey, he had a strip sack as well. Let's not forget the strip sack as well and the fumble recovery. That would have happened if the refs didn't, rule for progress on a sack, which makes no fucking sense. But Austin Booker had himself a game, and he's really starting to shape up and show that promise that we saw in the preseason. Then we thought that Luther Burden was going to come in here and have a big – why would you want to say Luther Burden? That Austin Booker was going to come in here and have a big season. He showed and flashed a lot of that in yesterday's game. Also got to give some love to DeMarco Jackson. DeMarco Jackson has been a big story for the Bears. Where we suffered injuries to our linebackers, he stepped up big time. He's shown himself to maybe stay a part of that rotation even after Tremaine Edmonds comes back, right? Tremaine Edmonds, who's still on IR, by the way. But this guy had 7 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack, 1 QB hit, 1 interception, and 2 pass breakups. He received the game ball from Ben Johnson after the game, and DeMarco Jackson absolutely deserves it with the way that he played football. Just everything. Like, you talk about Chicago Bears linebackers, that was a Chicago Bears linebacker performance that we got from DeMarco Jackson yesterday, and it was great to see, great to call, all those type of things. And then I also want to give some credit to Al Harris. Al Harris, and you look at the coaching staff that Ben Johnson put together, right? And getting defensive back coach Al Harris in here, he's been great. What he's done with the secondary, a secondary that's been had to be patched up throughout the season, getting C.J. Garner-Johnson in here, Deshaun Wright, who was a player that we signed to the, to a 1-year deal, kind of prove-it deal that's made a big impact for this team. What he's had us do, 3 interceptions, all by defensive backs, Jalen Johnson, C.J. Garner-Johnson, like, it was good to see this performance from the Bears, and I just want to give some credit to Al Harris, so much so that we've starting to hear some rumblings that Al Harris could be in line for maybe a defensive coordinator job that teams could come offering him in the offseason. I would hate to lose him, but right now we got him, and he's a big weapon for the Chicago Bears team. The Bears lead the league in turnovers at 30 and 21 interceptions out of that. That's huge. And you got to love how we're coaching up Dennis Allen, Al Harris, how we're coaching up these defensive backs, and how they've been performing. We got one loser on the game. The only loser that I could point out is Olamide Zaccheaus, right? Olamide disappeared in yesterday's game. He did have 3 targets. He didn't catch a single one of them. And it's not been a great season for him, even though we came into this saying that he was like a perfect slot receiver for the Chicago Bears. Got passed up by Luther Burden, rightfully so. But at the end of the day, like, as Luther Burden continues to take more and more reps away from Oz, it just highlights like how disappointing he's kind of been. I know he doesn't have the biggest role. He's never shaped up to have the biggest role on this team. But Oz was just kind of disappointing on a night where we spread the ball out to a lot of different receivers, and he just did not make an impact in that. So for him, for that, he does got to be marked as the only loser. And, for what it's worth, listen, we know that this wasn't the best competition. It was the Browns. And the Bears got to get ready for the Packers on a short week, and we'll see what they're going to be able to do. But there were players that's definitely stood out for the Chicago Bears, and they deserve to be rewarded and acknowledged for that. I want to move on to the next topic, and that's some comments from Caleb Williams. Caleb said this after the game. Yeah, extremely important. You want to start the game off every week like that, but definitely this week. Not allowing them to get going, not allowing them to feel maybe some energy or feel that they can beat us. That's our mindset going into this game. And starting fast and kind of diminishing any thoughts that may pop up of positivity on their side. That's the mindset going into these games. I love hearing that. As a petty person that I am, I love hearing those type of comments from my quarterback, saying that we wanted to remove any positive thoughts that they had about any chance to win this game. Like, that's huge to say from Caleb Williams. And again, in a game where Caleb Williams had one of his best games in a Bears uniform, it was good to see him have that. There were a lot of people talking a lot of crazy shit about Caleb Williams, saying that Shedeur Sanders was going to outplay him, all that type of shit. And Caleb Williams came in here and did what needed to be done, right? Caleb also in 670 The Score said this: I feel like we're ready for just about anything. We're going to go out there and fight. I do know that, and I like our chances, us versus anyone. If that doesn't get you fired up to hear that type of talk from your quarterback that's led a 10-4 season so far for the Chicago Bears, you again, like I said at the beginning of the show, check your damn pulse, because you're not alive if that doesn't invigorate something in you, seeing your team have this level of performance and our quarterback being such a good part of it, right? The Bears are a young team, and they're a good young team. And when you look at how things have gone differently under the Matt Eberflus era versus this era, the Bears garnered a lot of criticism for how they were beating teams, right? Even the Pittsburgh Steelers, Philadelphia Eagles, all those type of stuff, losing to Green Bay in Week 14. The Bears have answered most of the tests that have been in front of them, and they've done so. And Caleb Williams is not always played the best, but guess what? He's still the quarterback of the team. And much like if we would have judged a quarterback, whether the team was sucking and losing, but the quarterback was good play, you guys tell me wins and losses are a quarterback stat. So then you have to judge this quarterback by the way the team's winning. And people like ECH Bears fans have been really quiet here lately, right? Because Caleb Williams and the Bears are winning. And all the doubt that people had on, we'd never be able to win with Caleb Williams, XYZ. Like, how do you feel about that now? Like, Caleb has to improve, and he is improving. And, there are people in the comments that say things like, we talk about Caleb Williams improving every week. Yeah, that's what he needs to be. He needs to improve every single week. Caleb is doing that. And even for like DJ Moore, comments from DJ Moore saying this, he can make a lot of throws that people can't. Now, the people that like to talk about DJ Moore and hold on to the fact that he was supporting his quarterback in Justin Fields and his quote saying those guys aren't better than Justin, what are you going to do with that? DJ Moore has been very supportive of Caleb Williams, and we got to stop the dumbass narratives and making sports soap operas. DJ Moore has said things that people don't want to acknowledge about Caleb Williams, and that is that he can make some throws that not many quarterbacks can. After the game, DJ Moore saying this as well. He gave me a chance on this, and I better come down with it. That was his thoughts on the crazy pass that Caleb Williams made to DJ Moore for that touchdown. And that's good. That's what you want to think, right? So, hey, through all in all, the Bears aren't a perfect team. The Bears are a good football team, though. And I think there are still some Bears fans that are slow to admit that this is a good football team. Now, we'll see how far they're going to go. And yes, we still got some things that we absolutely need to shore up and fix, but this is a good football team. And this is a football team that's put in work to get to where they are. They've put in work. They've trusted their coaching staff. The coaching staff has put in work on these players to get them here. Don't disrespect the work. Don't ignore the work because you want to be right about a storyline, right? And that's targeted to very specific people in this fan base, in this community. But don't be being a bitch just because you want to be right about something. Embrace where this is, but you can also acknowledge, hey, this is where we need to tighten up if we want to make it further than this. And best believe those conversations are going to happen no matter where the season ends for the Chicago Bears. But the Bears are out here winning football games, and they're putting in work. And let's appreciate that, because we haven't always had that with this team and with the coaching staff that ran this team. But all right, with that said, let me get off of it. We're going to go ahead and get into a couple of voicemails like I like to do after every game. This one's from Ant.
What up, fellas? Ant, the Army vet, calling in about that win yesterday. Am I excited about that win? You dang right I'm excited about that win, because it's a win. A win is a win is a win. I'm always going to be excited about that win. That's 10 on the season. Real reason I'm excited about that win is because of how we won. Like, I don't know if we came into the game against Green Bay a little scared, excited, intimidated, nervous, whatever the case may be. But that first half, we didn't play our best ball, right? Ben Johnson said we're going to play our best ball in December. That second half started to show our best ball. This last game, all cylinders was clicking, so it seemed like what he was saying was exactly what he meant. But the reason why I'm saying that and why I'm excited about that is because Cleveland had a better defense than Green Bay. Like, they really do. It's statistically across the board. They have a better pass rusher than Green Bay. And, you know what I'm saying, prayers up for Michael Parsons. If he have a serious injury or not, I haven't seen if he did or not. But, you know, prayers up for that man. But I hope he, you know what I'm saying, comes out good. I'd rather play them at their full strength and do what we did to Cleveland to them. But it's a division game. I can never say we'll just dominate a division game. Nobody should ever go into a division game thinking it's a domination, because that's how you get, you know what I'm saying, smacked in the mouth. But I will say, if we look at what we did on short weeks with Ben Johnson, he came, he had us ready to play. Look what we did against, like, top-ranked defenses, he had us ready to play. We smacked Vic Fangio's defense in the mouth and ran it down their throats. That's a good run defense. We just thrashed the number 2 defense, the best pass rush defense, the pass defense. We just smacked them in the mouth. Caleb Williams just smacked them in the mouth.
The Bears won decisively. I mean, and let's be clear, while the Browns aren't nothing close to as a complete team as the Green Bay Packers, you made a great point here. This is a team that's defense has been playing really good, and the Bears carved them up while also snuffing them out when the Browns had the ball on offense. It's good for the Bears to get a win against an opponent that's supposed to be inferior. And it's a short week, right? So now let's attack it the best way we can. It's a short week, and listen, like I said before, I still say this. Until we've clinched the playoffs, we ain't accomplished nothing. We've won some football games, and that's great, but we ain't accomplished nothing. Whether that triggers you by me saying that or not, we have not accomplished shit yet. But we're getting closer and closer to getting that accomplishment. And I love to see the Bears at where they are right now, because it comes through what the Bears have had to go through when embracing the coach in Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson had to come in here and clean out the Nagyism that was left over, the Eberflus flu, right? All those type of things. And now we still sit at number 1 in the NFC North, number 2, I believe, in the NFC overall. And let's get to work. Like, we got to still complete this, man. That's it. Let's go out here and see what we can do, because there's going to be a 10 or 11 win team that's going to be on the outside looking in. I don't want to be that team. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, man. This one's from Chris.
What's going on, Chicago Bears Central? This is Chris from up in Wisconsin. Hey, man, that was a great freaking game for the Bears. We needed something like that. DJ Moore got involved twice in the end zone. I know that's a pretty shitty team we played against, but hey, man, you never know how it's going to turn out. You never know how they're going to play. You never know about anything on how the day is going to go. So Caleb played amazing. Threw the ball like crazy. That defense, man. That defense came in clutch too. Hey, we're not fucking around on Sanders. So we needed a big win like that. That was a big win. And let's take first place in the North again. And I just got done watching that Packer game. Holy shit. Broncos are looking dangerous. Now Green Bay is banged up. So let's capitalize on that next week. and really finish strong this year. What a first year for Ben Johnson, man, and this whole Bears team. We're getting healthy at the end of the year, which is perfect. I know we still don't have Kyler Gordon, but we got the next man up. That's T.J. Gardner-Johnson, man. What a great pickup in the middle of the year. So, go Bears, man. What a win. A lot of weight off our shoulders now. All right, man. Well, you guys have a good day. Town up, bear down. Let's go Bears.
It's definitely good to see DJ Moore involved in the game plan like he was, right? With Rome Odunze out, we needed the wide receiver core to step up. We knew that, that's Caleb Williams' favorite target, and we needed to kind of separate that and break that up over multiple players, and we did that, right? So the first half, like I pointed out, Caleb Williams averaged it was 15.8 yards per completion in the first half of that game. That's huge. We got a first down every time he completed a pass, and that's why the Bears were able to set that tone early. Now, we need to do that again against the Green Bay Packers. We need to come in from start to finish. We need to run, and we need to execute. And if the Bears do that, I think we can have success against the Packers this upcoming week on Saturday, and let's go out there and get it done. But with that said, man, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, man. This feels different. This team feels different. This felt different. 10 wins, a total dominating win by the Chicago Bears, and a quarterback who believes that his team can beat anybody. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit the subscribe button as well to subscribe to Chicago Bears Central. Always drop your thoughts down in the comments. You can follow us at Chi Bears Central. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that is thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.